Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Stand up for your country. Knowledge and information is power. That's why I put together this independent news operation on BillO'Reilly.com, and it has been far more successful than I ever imagined, because there are millions of people who want information that's grounded in facts. I know the ideologues are out there, and there's no problem with that. But you have to assume that some of your ideology is not true. No ideology is 100%. So we don't do the ideological thing here. We give you facts. The more you know, the better your life will be. That's why I created the premium and concierge members to BillO'Reilly.com. Because the more protection we can provide you, the more information we can provide you, the more you will prosper in life. And that's just a fact. Okay. Now, most Americans at this point in history are emotional. They're making emotional decisions. We hate Trump. We love Trump. It's all Trump-centric right now. We hate the far-left progressives. We love the far-left progressives. Entire networks devoted to all of that. And they don't care about giving you information. They're just looking for stuff to prop up their point of view so they can make money. We do not do that here, okay? And we see that the dishonest corporate media, in it solely for money, is misleading a lot of people, and that's causing social problems. However, the good news, in my opinion, is that the corporate media is evaporating. And quickly, right before our eyes. And most Americans don't understand it. So that leads us to the talking points memo. So this media change is happening very rapidly. And the reason that most Americans aren't aware of it is because the media will not report on itself, all right? So to them, everybody's doing great because they want to make money. They want your money. They want the sponsors to go in. They want all that. Let me give you some facts. CBS News is in complete uproar. So you'll know that Skydance, a corporation that is fairly conservative, bought Paramount, which owned CBS, and that includes CBS News. CBS News was almost 100% liberal just 2 months ago. 100% down the line liberal from CBS News. They never admitted, but they were. I know them all. Now, the executives at Skydance, run by Larry Ellison's son, all right, are changing. And that will continue. Now, I don't know if they're ever going to be fair or they're ever going to, I don't know any of that. But they stopped banishing non-liberal voices, which is a good thing, except for Jane Pauley on a Sunday morning program, which is an absolute scandal, that program. 60 Minutes is being revamped. I don't know how much longer Scott Pelley can survive, but they're going after it. All right, NBC fired MSNBC. Do you realize that? So Comcast, which owns NBC, fired MSNBC. We don't want you anymore. And now a company named Versant, I don't even know what this company is, Versant, they run MS Now. Okay, it's not MSNBC any longer, it's MS Now. Because NBC fired the network because it was embarrassing and they weren't making very much money from it. All right, I don't expect any changes there. They're going to go down with the ship, the progressive ship. So no changes. They'll be there. They have no influence. CNN announced yesterday, this is fascinating, just yesterday, Warner Brothers Discovery, that's a huge corporation, entertainment corporation. They own CNN and they own Turner Classic Movies. I was just watching a horror movie on there last night. Discovery Channel, HBO, and others. Okay? So Warner Brothers Discovery owns all that. They want to sell. They want out. And they'll sell. Maybe not all of their properties, but CNN is a goner. Because again, going down, 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 down. Somebody will buy it. And believe me, those people over there, they're all gone. I don't know if there's one that they'll keep, because there's nobody over there that's making any money for them. No big stars. Nobody has any traction at all. In the morning, CNN's ratings are lower than a lot of local stations. It's hard to believe. It's a national network. So CNN, big changes. ABC, Disney, they're under a lot of fire, as you know. We went over it and over and over it. The View, George Stephanopoulos, Jimmy Kimmel, on and on and on. But I don't expect too many changes at Disney. They make all their money at the theme parks, and their prices are outrageous. And the kids want to go, so the parents take. I understand it all. So I don't think that the Disney Corporation is going to change their point of view, and their point of view is very, very progressive left. I could be wrong. I hope I am. I hope they get a little more fair over there, but I'm not optimistic. Fox News is now 93% conservative. That means almost everyone who watches FNC leans right or is a conservative or is MAGA. Okay? It's also very Trump dependent. And the president knows that. He sticks it to Fox News all the time. Like, you know, when they criticize him, he goes, "What do you criticize me? I'm major network." Now, when I was at Fox more than 20 years, it was 60% conservative. Now 93%. But Fox makes a lot of money. And when Trump leaves in 3 years, I don't know what they're going to do over there. Depends who the new president is, but they're profitable. So, and if the profits start to drop, then they would change, I guess. But right now, they're going to stay where they are, I believe. So, summing up, the so-called establishment media is all in a state of flux, except for Fox, that will stay where it is until Trump leaves. The flux is big. Now, 1 week ago, as you know, I did the Three Americans town hall in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center. That was run by News Nation, a relatively new startup cable operation, which is the only one adding viewers. Ready? That 2-hour program 1 week ago was sampled by 23 million people worldwide. That is staggering. Staggering. 23 million people accessed, and these are from News Nation stats, okay? Part of all of that program. But most of them did it on social media, on YouTube, because News Nation has its own YouTube channel. Some did it on CW, some did it on News Nation itself, some did it on Sirius, because we were across the board. But 23 million. That, I mean, I'm a pretty cocky guy. And I put together the Three Americans concept. I knew it was going to work, but I never thought it would work like that. And it was a good show. And if you missed it or didn't watch it, we have it on BillO'Reilly.com, and you should check it out. So that told me, that solidified to me, that social media has taken over. And that most Americans get their information from social media now. That is both good and bad. Right? The good thing is that you can get your product on social media. So while I'm still banished from a lot of the corporate media, not all, but a lot of it, and not just me, but any non-liberal voice, you're never going to get on. Okay? It was funny watching the View ladies goes, "Oh, conservatives are too scared to come on." Yeah, okay, sure. It's just, you know, you don't invite them. Okay? You won't invite them. You won't put them on. That's the truth. So we have a situation where this vast change is taking place. It's underway right now, and Americans don't know about it. They don't know what's happening. Now, the downside of social media is there's no standards. You can say whatever you want. And to pile on, artificial intelligence is about to get into the news information business. That's going to be scary. because you'll have no idea what is true and what isn't true. They'll be able to resurrect video. They'll even have phony newscasters on there that look real. You're not going to know. That's really dangerous. So that'll help me and BillO'Reilly.com, because people go, yeah, and they'll come here. And I'll let you know if I'm an AI person. All right. I don't think they could possibly even invent somebody as obnoxious as I am, but maybe. All right, summing up, 330 million Americans, right? I'd say more than half of us don't know what the deuce is going on. I have no idea. Now, a lot of those people don't care. But boy, it's getting dangerous out there. So if you don't know, you can be manipulated. And that's the memo. When you're buried in credit card and loan debt, it's easy to put it off and say, I'll deal with it later. But here's the thing. Done with Debt has a little known strategy that can dramatically reduce or even erase what you owe. This fall, they will aggressively engage your lenders because they know rich credit card and loan companies are doing year-end accounting and cutting deals to clear debt fast, meaning you need to start with Done with Debt right now, this fall. They can help end your debt fast without bankruptcy or loans. In fact, most clients have more money in their pocket the first month. So get started while you still have time. Go to donewithdebt.com. Talk with one of their specialists for free. Visit donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. All right, joining us now from another point of view is Ian Kahn. He's got a book out this year called Undisrupted: Leadership Essentials on Business Transformation, Profitability, and Future Readiness. And he does a show on Amazon Prime called The Futurist. All right, so Ian joins us from Las Vegas. I don't know if Las Vegas is the future. They're having a hard time out there because, you know, the Indian casinos have taken a lot of business away from Vegas. Anyway, that's another story at another time. So am I making any mistakes in my analysis of the media?
You're right on track, Bill. You know, there's so much happening, and it's not just broadcast. It's not, you know, what Warner is doing, what Disney's doing, but it's this whole change in how we consume content. And that has really shifted over the last few years. I sometimes feel that traditional broadcasters are just living in their own world. They've been doing their own thing for the last few decades, but social media is coming in. You mentioned AI, and that is a completely new animal where you absolutely cannot tell if this person you're seeing on screen is me or an avatar, and how you can program it. So it's the era of deepfakes. It's the era of disinformation, misinformation, and anybody can put up a YouTube channel and talk endlessly, nonstop, and actually get some followers as well. So the scene has definitely changed, and we're headed into an era where we need to know what we're watching and if it's actually real.
But the only way that could happen is if the government then got involved and had standards of behavior that all the social media companies would have to adhere to. And I don't see that happening, Ian.
I don't see that happening either, because the way it looks like social media companies are quite powerful. They're global companies with a lot of access to people, communities, money, power. And it's the stark reality that technology companies have become much more powerful than you would have anticipated, and hence antitrust laws, and hence the need to break them down. But some companies are much more powerful than the average American knows, based on what they can do and the amount of data they have and what they know about.
And they give money to the politicians and all that. So your advice to people of goodwill, and that cuts across all parties and all ideologies, who really want to know the truth about their lives and the country in which they live. What is your advice? What do you tell them to do?
It's tough advice, and the advice is don't trust anybody. Don't trust everything you watch. either on social media or on programmatic media or broadcast, you have to balance your opinion by dipping into different pools and get an opinion on various sources. You cannot absolutely just go with one thing and totally believe it.
All right, and that's good
You know,
advice. So, but that takes time, and most people are working, and they get the kids, and it takes time to go survey. I've been doing media for 50 years, and I don't know how much longer I can do it. I mean, I'm in good shape, thank God, and nobody can beat me, even in my advanced age. I mean, they try, but they can't. But sooner or later, I'm going to fall apart. But I look and people go, well, who's going to replace you, O'Reilly? Who's going to take over? And I don't see it. I don't see, and I'm not being insulting to the younger journalists, but they don't have the training. They don't have the experience. They're not going to cover wars like I did. They're not sent all over the world. And they don't have any of this. So that the human element, the information carriers, all right, they were first fostered in World War II. That's where all CBS people came out of. World War II, that was a tough slog. And then the others, next generation was Vietnam, and then on and on and on. Now you don't have that. You have Tiffany from La Crosse, Wisconsin, who can't even say what town she's in. And I think that with the technology is really a deficit here in a way people are getting information. Last word.
Yeah, we're actually headed into an era, like you mentioned, of digital avatars. And I completely believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll have, you right there, but it'll be a digital avatar of you, speaking like me, and programmed to exactly replicate your mannerisms, your thinking patterns. And people will be watching the virtual,
I hope
you
not. Well,
and,
we're not
and
going to.
enjoying it.
We'll call it out. I mean, as long as we have the platform, and we have an immense platform, as you know, we will not tolerate that. Ian, thanks very much. We really appreciate your expertise and
Thanks for
spending
having
some
me.
time with it. All right, Donald Trump scheduled a very important meeting with the Secretary General of NATO, a man named Mark Rutte. He's a Dutchman. And NATO, with this Ukraine war, and now they're paying except for Spain, are paying a lot more for the collective defense. So Trump did that, by the way. None of these people, he's the king, and Trump did that. I mean, he solidified the European nations against Putin. Just remember that. Okay, so he has a meeting at 4, and then he called off the Budapest meeting with Putin because Putin's not going to cooperate with the United States or NATO. I mean, it's just not. He doesn't care how many people die, how many women and children are killed, doesn't care. It's like Hamas. They don't care. I mean, these people don't care. You can get to Putin, though. And one of the ways is through China. China backs away from buying Russian oil, and Putin's in trouble. And Trump, I expect him to meet with Xi, the leader of China, in Korea next week. But I don't have any specifics. We're on it. I told you yesterday I would find out about the Chinese coup. I did. And the guy who I was talking to, and I can't give him up because he'll be exiled to some concentration camp someplace. He goes, look, we do this, we the Chinese, every 6 months. So every 6 months, bunch of generals, bunch of bureaucrats over in Beijing, boom. They just, it's the way the totalitarians work. I don't think it'll have any effect on the Trump meeting. That is very important next week. We're on it. We're all over it. We have the best sources. All right, Trump's approval rating actually has gone up during the government shutdown, according to Reuters, which is a left-wing news service. It surveyed 4,385 adults. All right, approve of President Trump's job performance, 42, disapprove 56. That is up 2 points in 2 weeks. Okay, next question. Who do you blame for the shutdown? Republicans are blamed by 50%, Democrats by 43. It goes down by party lines. You can see that happening. And finally, should subsidies that lower health insurance be extended? Now, this is an unfair question, and Reuters knows it. So 72% of Americans say yes, healthcare subsidies should be extended, and 22 say no. But the subsidies are for a very select group. They're not for everybody. So that's what people think. Yeah, well, we want subsidies. No, it's not for you. So that's the problem. All right, another poll. This is AP, Associated Press, another wire service which leans left. 1,289 adults. Question number one, how concerned are you about each of the following? Health care costs increasing. 57% are concerned, and 42% not so concerned. Okay, I mean, I'm concerned about health care costs increasing. I don't know who's not. I guess the Medicare people and people who have good health plans and their corporations. Second question, are you concerned not being able to pay for health care? Extremely concerned, very concerned, 42, somewhat 24, not concerned at all, 34. Not being able to access health care when you need it, 40% are concerned about that, 24 somewhat concerned, that's 64, 35 not concerned. You should be concerned because a lot of doctors are getting out, setting up concierge services that cost you a fortune. I'm concerned about that. Okay. And final question, is it the responsibility of the federal government to make sure all Americans have health care? Yes, 60, no, 39. Responsibility, I think that the federal government has to have very disciplined regulations on health care. Responsibility that everybody have it. You got the emergency room situation. So I don't want this Canadian system here. All right, Donald Trump says he wants $230 million from the Department of Justice, the DOJ, because of the phony investigations against him by the Biden administration. Number one, that would be paid for by the taxpayer. So that's not good. And number two, it's not going to go anywhere. I understand the president's anger. He's paid an enormous amount of money to defend himself against bogus charges, but I don't think the folks are going to pay for it. That would be in court forever. Ready for the flu season or not? Too many families wait until they're sick and rush to urgent care. Don't make that mistake. Be proactive. Start preparing now with All Family Pharmacy. They're different from the big chains. They don't push flu shots as the only answer. Instead, they believe in medical freedom, giving you access to real options. More than 200 medications are available, from daily prescriptions to advanced biohacking products. Every order includes a doctor's prescription, no insurance required. So stock up today on Tamiflu, antibiotics, antivirals, ivermectin, even flu kits and vitamins for immune support. Orders ship fast, and if you need it right away, overnight shipping is available. Please visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use the code BILL10 to save 10%. Don't wait. Get ahead of flu season now. Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets, and meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or place in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of five-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Okay, quick final thought of the day. I'm going out to LA in 2 weeks. I haven't been out there in a while for business. I'm going to do the Maher Show on HBO. I'm going to do the Howie Mandel podcast, and Billy Bush. All of this is in support of confronting evil, of course. So looking forward to that. We'll tell you more about it as it gets closer. The more things should be pretty interesting. Haven't done a show on HBO, but, we'll mix it up a little bit. We'll have a good time. Hope we'd keep it fun. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. And Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.